Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats and direct your attention to the stage.
Welcome back, everyone. If I can get all your attention. Welcome back. Hope you all enjoyed your meals. Morgan, what do you think of the event so far?
It's been great. The food was great. I see desserts being passed out now. Hope it's good. And I'm mostly excited to be here with so many people who know that investing in young people is the most important investment we can make for the future of our city.
I couldn't agree more. And I'm honored to introduce you to someone who has invested so much of their time, energy, and passion into Spark Youth since the very beginning of our organization. Please welcome to the Spark Youth to the stage, Spark Youth Board President Steve Cohn.
Good evening. Glad the real estate market is back and doing well, right? Why the laughter? I want to thank Javi and Morgan. You've done an amazing job. One more round of applause. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize our other young leaders this evening. We are humbled and proud to support the talent, leadership, courage, and brilliance that you bring to our city. Thank you. You and your peers are the reason why Spark Youth exists. And as Spark Youth celebrates its 30th birthday, I couldn't help but wonder, where will each of you be when you're 30?
Hey everybody, I'm Melanie Salazar from Futures Ignite, and my community is my spark. When I'm 30, I plan to have a master's degree in aerospace engineering, work in the industry, and then come back to my community to help others reach for the stars.
From Brooklyn Buildworks, and building things is my spark. At age 30, I hope to see myself happy and satisfied with my life.
Hey everyone, I'm Hunter Garcia Polanco from American Tech, and coding is my spark. When I'm 30, I visualize myself working with other underrepresented coders that are passionate about coding.
And advocacy is my spark. When I'm 30, I see myself as a civil rights lawyer, continuing my social advocacy work as an adult with the power to vote.
I'm Dr. Mendez from Harlem Grown, and working on a farm is my spark. When I'm 30, I will own a profitable business and have health experts and specialty doctors work for me.
From the Hunter Harold Foundation, and my spark is working with children. I hope that at age 30, I'm doing what I love and making a living off of it.
Hi, I'm Manaya Turvin from Inspiring Minds and Internal Interior Design. Deep Conversations is my spark. When I'm 30, I hope to see myself helping people not only find themselves, but design themselves through my program, Internal Interior Design. I plan to pay it forward by pouring into communities as Inspiring Minds has done to me.
My name is Zunan. My spark is to help and support incarcerated youth and gang-involved youth. By the time I'm 30, I want to have an organization that could help people get out of jail and stay out of jail.
I'm Tyrell Jordan from Tech Kids Unlimited, and being with other people and socializing is my spark. And when I'm 30 years old, I see myself working at a job that helps children.
Hi everyone, my name is Cheyenne Prasad representing City Living and advocating for more quality, safe, and affordable housing for youth aging out of the child welfare system is my spark. When I'm 30 years old, I hope to be making change for youth on an even greater scale as the Commissioner of ACS.
I'm Kaya Clary Chatelain from STEM from Dance, and my sparks are coding, dancing, singing, and swimming. At 30, I see myself creating apps that help artists all around the world.
From Bronx Lacrosse, and my sparks are playing lacrosse and learning new things. When I'm 30, I see myself on a lacrosse field coaching and learning and giving back to the community.
I'm Javi Vasquez from Uptown Stories, and creative writing is my spark. When I'm 30, I see myself working in finance full-time and continuing to pursue my passion for writing in every free moment that I have.
And I'm Morgan Capto from Seeds of Fortune, and my spark has always been helping others. When I'm 30, I see myself finished with medical school and my residency, providing care for those who need it most.
If only I could remember when I was 30. Let's have a big round of applause for these incredible young people. Each of them will be receiving this award tonight, and I encourage you to seek them out and congratulate them on their honor. Thank you. As we celebrate this 30-year milestone, there are a few people I would like to recognize and thank. First, Barbara Kronman. Barbara, raise your hand. Thank you, Barbara. Barbara was one of the two founders of Spark Youth, and she and her co-founder, Sally Berg, have had tremendous impact on thousands and thousands, millions of lives, as you saw in the video, through their vision and perseverance. So thank you, Barbara, for that. I also want to thank Barbara Welsh, who was one of the first volunteers of the organization. And as my mother exposed me to its vital work. So thank you, Mom. I want to thank my predecessor, former board president Ken Horn, right over here, for his outstanding leadership and support for many years. Thank you to our former executive director, Flo Wiener, who led us for 12 tremendous years of growth and continues to support our mission. Thank you, Flo. Now, I ask our board to stand. Like the board to stand? We have an extraordinary group of board members, most of whom you know, who devote their time, energy, and resources to Spark Youth. We are deeply grateful, and we would not be here without all that you do. The board has a strong passion for Spark Youth's work, and it shows every day. So thank you. I also ask our co-factor council members to stand. This is where are they? Thank you. This is a new group of Spark Youth champions, and we are grateful for their energy in bringing the next generation of leaders to Spark Youth. Some of them, shockingly, some of them are not in commercial real estate, but that can change. I extend our heartfelt thanks to our honorees, Bob, Kia, and Epiphany, and their tremendous co-chairs who have worked intensely to support tonight's success. Being an honoree, while an honor amongst many distinguished choices, takes countless hours of work to help make the evening a success for the youth we support. They did this because they care, and they are very special people because of it. Lastly, I want to recognize and thank our Spark Youth team, led by our Executive Director, Susie Myers-Jackson, our Deputy Director, Kelly Cunningham, I see Kelly's, and our Associate Director, Rachel Abick. They are the secret sauce that makes Spark Youth the incredible organization it is today. On behalf of the board, thank you for all you do and for your dedication and hard work. Assisting our team behind the scenes in organizing this event and our fundraising outreach are Kathy McNamara and Alyssa Ramos of CMI. They're behind the scenes here doing all the work. They are true professionals. Thank you. Now I am pleased to welcome my fellow board member, Greta Guggenheim, to present our Champion for Youth Award to Kia Buckley-Marakovitz and Bob Foley.
I didn't know you were going to tell who the recipients were, but good evening. I'm thrilled to introduce the recipients of our Champion for Youth Award. I was going to say, I know the suspense is killing you as to who these two could be, but they're my dear friends and colleagues, Kia and Bob. I have known them both for over 20 years. Well, that's an exaggeration, but I know there are no fact checkers here because they're all at the Al Smith dinner across town. Anyway, when the time came to think about who to honor for SparkYouth's big 30th anniversary today, I could think of no one more deserving than the two of them. As experienced investors and business leaders, Kia and Bob understand very well SparkYouth's model of investing in organizations at a critical point in their trajectory, and how SparkYouth's multiplier effect allows us to impact an ever-increasing number of kids in New York City. We honor them tonight for their dedication to SparkYouth, as well as their leadership in our industry. On a side note, and interestingly, Kia and Bob met in 1988, I think that's right, at the early part of their career, at their first, I think in Kia's case, it was her first job out of school at Bankers Trust. And I do believe there's a Bankers Trust table here somewhere tonight. You can applaud. But they worked together there for many years, I think 7 or 8 years, so they know each other well. And more recently, they've thrown themselves into the task of raising funds for SparkYouth, undaunted by the challenges of the tough economic climate that we find ourselves in. They've made this event a success, inspiring all of us to gather here tonight in celebration of New York's next generation. I thank them, and I ask you all to give a big round of applause for Kia and Bob.
You got us into this.
All right. The short person speaks first. Wow. Thank you, Greta, for that very warm introduction. Really, really appreciate it. Goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. I'm really honored to be, and humbled to be a Champion for Youth co-honoree tonight with my former colleague and longtime friend for over 30 years, 36 years to be exact, Kia. This has really been a wonderful evening, hasn't it? Filled with excitement and inspiration. We've heard a lot of really great stories from kids about how SparkYouth has helped change their lives. Epiphany's story in particular, I found especially touching. It's late. Some of you may be hoping to run across the street to grab a train. The bar will be open afterwards, as Steve will remind us. But first, on behalf of Kia and me, some important thank yous and some congratulations. First to Epiphany, this year's Community Impact Honoree for possessing the intellect, the insight, and the determination to nurture Harlem Grown, along with Mr. Tony. To the many young people who participate in and benefit from SparkYouth's programs, some of whom joined us tonight. You may have met some of the fencers in the chapel earlier tonight, and many of whom have shared their remarkable experiences with us. They are the future of our city. Their positive experiences and their exciting and inspiring stories should boost our confidence as a group that these young people can sustain the vibrancy and take advantage of the opportunities that make New York one of the world's great, great cities. Depending upon who gets to the World Series and then wins, it might be the world's greatest city. To the leaders of SparkYouth's current programs, these men and women are real entrepreneurs in the not-for-profit sector. They identify problems in need of a solution, and they have the intellect and the grit to conceive, to establish, and build lasting solutions. Two current examples that Kia and I saw firsthand over the last couple of months. First, imagine realizing that roughly half of New York City's public schools don't have a functioning library. Can you believe that? It's amazing. Boom. Somebody launches Start Lighthouse during COVID, no less. Who does that? Well, it turns out an exciting program that's supported by SparkYouth. Recognize that every year 600 young people age out of the city's foster care program with little or no training or experience in how to navigate the real world. Boom. Someone else with decades of experience in the Child Protective Services business launches another important program to help those people. And who supports that? SparkYouth. There are dozens of these programs that have benefited from the financial support of SparkYouth. And every day, the people who lead those programs demonstrate their unceasing commitment to their program, to their clients, and to this city. To the board of directors of SparkYouth for providing strategic leadership, intellectual capital, seemingly limitless energy, and substantial financial support, much of which you saw tonight, to ensure SparkYouth's present and its future. To SparkYouth's executive director, Susie Myers-Jackson, to its deputy director, Kelly Cunningham, the entire SparkYouth staff. Key and I have had the opportunity to work with them over the past number of months. They manage operations, they identify and evaluate prospective grantee programs, and they've coordinated this successful event tonight. And we also have to mention Alyssa Ramos and the team at CMI, who support fundraising and put together tonight's event. After tonight, I can only imagine how relieved they will feel for at least a few days before they have to begin focusing on next year's SparkYouth event. So before we go any further, please join me in an energetic round of applause for everyone I've just mentioned. Thank you. A couple of more thank yous on behalf of Kia and me, a few from me only. First to Steve Cohen, President, you just heard him speak, a good friend, and also to my friend and former colleague Greta Guggenheim for getting me involved in SparkYouth and inviting me to serve with Kia as a co-honoree. It's really been an enriching experience to get inside the organization, to work with the board, to visit many of these programs, and observe firsthand the good work and the tremendous results that they achieve. I'd like to thank tonight's co-chairs, especially my partners at TPG and TPG Angelo Gordon, Doug Boucard, and Adam Schwartz, who encouraged my increased engagement in SparkYouth and who prodded many of you in this room to give generously tonight. To Dan Neidick and to Kelvin Davis at TPG for their generous financial support and for their patience with Kia and with me while we were running around visiting SparkYouth programs and dialing for dollars instead of minding our businesses. To my co-honoree, Kia Buckley Marakovitz, who is truly a marvel of energy, enthusiasm, doggedness, and good humor. It's been a blast to work with her again. As I mentioned, Kia and I first met 36 short years ago when we were colleagues at Bankers Trust, and we'd like to give a special shout out tonight. There are a number of Bankers Trust people here in the room. To our friends, current and former colleagues, and in some instances competitors, for showing up tonight and stepping up to support Spark Youth. I'd like to make a special mention to my former colleagues at Goldman Sachs. Harry does a great job of raising money, but it is a fact that Goldman has been a steady and consistent supporter of this organization over the years, and was a donor again this year. So thank you to Goldman Sachs. I'd like to thank my wife, Barbara, for whom and to whom I am eternally grateful. And for our children, Meg and Jack, who are here tonight. They've charted their own successful paths in life, but thankfully they've not yet forgot about their parents. And also to my sister Margaret and her wife Roseanne, who together for decades have challenged me about my sometimes narrow-minded view about this world, but they've always done it with humor and love. Most of us here are real estate professionals, and we're largely dependent upon the built environment for our livelihood, and that's the built environment in which we live, we work, and we raise our families. Enlightened self-interest and a desire to give back should impel all of us to support organizations like Spark Youth that seek to improve opportunities for our city's next generation. Whether young or middle-aged, each of us is capable of investing our time, our talent, and our treasure in amounts and proportions that make sense for each of us. Spark Youth's board members and our recurring donors do that all the time. What drew me to Spark Youth first was its unique venture capital-oriented model to program development. The results after 30 years are astounding. If you or I could generate in our personal accounts and our businesses the same investment multiples that Spark Youth has achieved, we'd all be very, very happy people. For the younger people tonight, and frankly, almost everyone in this room is younger than me, including Kia, I really encourage you to identify causes you believe in and societal problems that need to be solved. Government can't do everything. Seek out organizations that can help solve those problems. They can make change, take advantage of those programs, those organizations, lever them for everyone's benefit. Really, really important. If you're young, you may be short cash, but long time and talent. Give your time and talent now. With hard work, the cash will come. You can adjust your giving priorities at that time. Kia and I really, really believe that Spark Youth New York City is that kind of organization. It deserves your support, and both of us stand here tonight united in the belief that all of us should continue to support Spark Youth. Tonight's been great, really successful. We're entering our fourth decade. Imagine that, four decades. And this organization is going to continue to require, financial support. And we really, really encourage everyone in this room to consider staying involved financially and perhaps getting involved organizationally. And with that, Kia.
I'm not going to repeat Bob's thank yous. They're joint, but I echo the heartfelt sentiments and thank the whole room. I'm also very grateful to you, Bob, for your partnership and your tireless fundraising. I thought I could be really annoying fundraising. I actually think he's worse than I am. And for those of you who are still on our list, we haven't forgotten. So, you know, it's really funny. I know you're probably tired of hearing that we met at Bankers Trust, but actually it's, it is true. And the only thing I'll say is, I don't think as, a 20-something that I would have ever imagined sharing the stage with someone that I met. Think about your first job 36 years later, sharing an honor. So it's actually pretty cool. These lasting friendships, like ours, have been a wonderful side benefit of my career, and I can see my friends sitting in the audience. So it's actually really cool. For young people, the real estate business is about relationships, and it really is about relationships. So go build your relationships. So tonight, why am I here besides all the great things about Spark Youth that you've heard? I'm here because I'm a really big believer, supporter, and cheerleader for all things New York City. And, you know, I was really fortunate. I was just lucky that I started my career here in real estate finance in this great city, the great real estate finance group at Bankers Trust. Another shout out to the BT crew, best alumni group there is. What could be a better place to start your career than New York? This is the finance capital of the world. It's the real estate capital of the world. It's the networking capital of the world, culture capital of the world. You know, tonight it's the baseball capital of the world. The list goes on and on. New York City gave me the foundation for all my personal and professional success. And I know it did the same thing for many of you here in the room. We have to give back to the city that's given us so much, particularly in the real estate industry. So many of you did that tonight through sponsorship. Very appreciate all of our sponsors that are here. Many of you did it through clicking on the app. You have to keep doing it. Keep supporting New York City, keeping it great through investing in the youth. Keep investing in Spark Youth. We owe it back to this city. As much as we are all get fairly impressed with ourselves, the chair you're in and the city you're in is really impactful. We have to keep it healthy and strong and invest in our young people. Many of us want to help people that are less fortunate than us, but most of us actually don't have the skills to do that. But then you see people like Mr. Tony and Epiphany. They do act, and they do end up changing people's lives. What a huge inspiration, and I'm just really proud to be part of this group. But like Bob, I wouldn't be here without my family. My parents, and my mom is here with us tonight. Yay, Mom. My parents were great examples. They taught us that no matter what your financial circumstances, that we all have an obligation, a real obligation to help others. So as Bob said, no matter what your treasury is, we have to give back to others. So my brother John and his wife Tracy are here. My brother John's here. My siblings, and there's quite a few of us, we've all taken my parents' advice. We've taken it to heart, and we try to help where we can. And lastly, to my husband, the other Bob. It actually is kind of funny when they keep saying Key and Bob because my husband Bob. He's getting a lot of credit tonight. He's my better, smarter, and funnier half. I've been blessed in a lot of ways in my life, but most importantly, having a partner who has always encouraged me and supported both my professional and my nonprofit work. My husband is incredibly generous and thoughtful, and we actually do this all as a team. I wouldn't be here without him. So thank you for making this a wonderful evening, and thank you for this honor on behalf of Bob and I. Please keep giving more. We're a little competitive. We like to deliver, and it's a great organization. So thank you for a great night.
Almost done here. So let's give a final round of applause to Kia, Bob, and Epiphany, and to all the young leaders. Before I say goodbye, I just want to check there it is, thank you. Oh, we're still a little off, so for those of you that haven't yet, please consider a final donation before you leave. We'd really, really appreciate it. Thank you for coming tonight and for all the support. I know it's sometimes not easy to sit through these kind of functions, but you can see how important it is, the work that we do. So thanks to all of you, you make it happen. The bar is open. Unfortunately, the Yankees lost. The Mets have a chance to win tonight, so let's go Mets. Thanks.
Some is the